Welcome back. Okay, today we are talking curriculum. I have a stack here. Pardon my room. I am cleaning it today, so it looks a little rough halfway through it. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to go through all the curriculum that we have this year, that we started using last year and this year, and tell you yes, no, maybe as to whether we've stopped using it, are using it, and are continue using it. Normally I have products of the day, but because I'm going to show you a bunch of cool stuff in here, I figured, we don't need that today. Now, keep in mind that my kids this is stuff ranging from kindergarten to grade 3, around there. So yeah, let's just get right to it. Okay, so these are all the books and all the subjects and all the topics that we do. If you want to see how I homeschool, how I go through so much, I could show you any other time, any other place. Okay, so this is Epic Words. This was for vocab. This is for K and 1 through 1st grade. I would not use it again. The reason I would not use it is I love some Miss Wordsmith things, but a lot of it was just unnecessary. So every once in a while you have a relate, to understand someone because of something in common, to blame, say it's something is someone's fault. So it does have some good things, but when you get further into the book, it has just a lot of stuff that is unnecessary. I just found that, yeah, and then every time I look through it, I'm always tempted to start again. Polish, comb, brush, apply lotion. So dress up. These I find jeans, frayed shorts, baggy sweatshirt. So sometimes I think it's good, and then I don't know. I guess so. This is a maybe. It's a maybe, and as I'm looking at it again, because I was doing it just a few days ago again, because I found it again and was like, okay, let's go through it again. Yeah. So I'm always torn. Like sloppy means careless and messy. Unusual lamp, but then there's no definition for unusual, right? So this is the problem I have. Is to fix is to put something back together again. Elegant coffee table, but then there's no definition for elegant. So it's not a perfect book to me. But this, I love this. I would get again. This is 3 to 5th grades. Okay, that is Epic Words vocabulary book. 1,000 words to improve reading and comprehension. I got this at the library. I have one somewhere, but you can get it at the library. Okay, so this is Mrs. Storyteller's Word a Day. This is 3rd through 5th grades. Do not buy it used because of the perforated pages. I've bought them used before. It does not go well. So this is 3rd through 5th grade. Grading, harsh or annoying, right? And then you flip it over. And when I go on to read the next day, like this is like a word a day kind of thing. Grading, the etymology of it if you want to. Some word pairs, harsh and annoying. So this is a definite yes. I get it again. And we are not all the way through it, so I may change my mind by the end, but so far it's a yes. This is from My Father's World. This is the art program they use. This is I Can Do All Things. It's pretty good. It's teaching you how to draw right now. So I find it pretty good. Yeah, it's just teaching you how to draw. I can do all things. That's the first part. The second part is painting. So it's showing you how to draw your house, because drawing is a learned skill. It's not something that you're born with. You have to learn how to do it. So picket fences, railroad tracks. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. Starts off with lines and then gets a bit more complicated. So there we go. We got the art. Okay, let's talk. This is also from My Father's World. I stopped using this. I was halfway through, more than halfway through. The first part of the stories are pretty interesting. But then once you get into really America and some of the things that are done to some of the children due to the Native Americans, I just found it a little too violent. But again, it's till 3rd grade. So some stories I thought were pretty good. It does have a high picture, like word to picture ratio, but each page is only, each part. So it's like a page, 2 pages, right? And then you're on to part 2. So it doesn't take long to go through it. However, it's just, I've just currently stopped using it just because we're at the point, some of the stories were just a little too violent, a little too upsetting. So I was like, nope. Human Body Theater. This is not a textbook, Human Body Theater. This is a definite buy again. So we're going through it right now. So it's about a skeleton and he puts on a play. So you got all these acts here as to what he does. Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, let's zoom into your finger and let's talk about cells. So they do a bit of talk about cells, which is kind of interesting. And then I take from any of these curriculums that I think would be interesting, like actually every living thing is made out of mostly 4 elements. I would take that and I would put it I would create kind of just a page with some, yeah, just a page with, what would I don't know, like a study sheet almost, like a cheat sheet to go over anything that I think is important to learn, because this is a lot of information. It's not necessary to learn all this information. It's not. But it's interesting to read. So I would just take what I think is important and put it on there, and every Friday we could go over it or something, you know, for the year. Just to make sure that they, you know, remember that stuff. Stuff that I think is cool or that I think will help them in the future. So definitely not everything. So that is a definite yes. This is My America, My World. That's grade 1. We're actually doing it again. I did it last year, but I thought go through it because it's pretty quick. This is a definite yes. I had someone ask me if in Canada it's a definite yes. I would say no if you were in Canada, because it just, the first part of it is all about symbols of America and the laws in America, the Constitution, things like that. And it's just not, it's just a lot for someone in Canada because it's not a summary of the United States, right? But then when you get to the back of it, see, it's got the Pilgrims. We're talking about these bookmarks here. So the Cherry Tree of Washington. So this bookmark is a Post-it. Post-it makes them. They are half Post-its. I got them at Walmart, and they are just the best thing to mark where I am. Honestly. So now we're getting into territories of this, and now we're talking about some transportation, America Talks. So just going through life, I guess, going through the history of America. So now we're going to, I know it says Niagara Falls, but that's Niagara Falls, US. There's Niagara Falls, US. There's Niagara Falls, Canada. And so we're just, yeah. And then you get into, at the end here, it has geography. It has My World back there. And it just summarizes a few countries. So this is a definite buy again. This is a Becca. I don't generally, when they're younger, like we don't need a teacher's manual for this. And there's no activity book for this that I know of. And I wouldn't get it if I did because it's not necessary. Okay, grammar and punctuation. This is 100% buy again. If you buy this, you need to look for this cover because I think they changed the cover or it's a different one. Evan Moore. I'm always torn on Evan Moore. Some I like, some I dislike completely because they are generally not made for homeschool students unless they've changed in the last few years. Grammar and punctuation, I would get this 100 times. 100 times. So let's look at some of the rules. A sentence begins with a capital letter. The box is red. Jan has a pet. The flower is pretty. You won't see a lot of writing in here. Oh, pardon me, because we do this generally orally. Yes or no. Does this sentence begin with a capital letter? So there's just rules. Rule 3, a sentence that tells something needs a period at the end. So this is something during snack time. We just sit down and we go through, and then I'll go through it again a second time just to make sure everybody gets these things. Grammar and punctuation, that is 100% a definite yes. Okay, what's up? Math Mammoth. No, I've switched off Math Mammoth because just look at it. If you just look at it, look at that. That's grade 1. That just in itself, obviously you don't have to do every question every day, but I have one child who has ADHD, and to open this up and to do this, he looks at this and he's like, holy cow, that is overwhelming. Like, that is completely overwhelming. So, and it is very thorough, right? It is. So no, I have switched off it. I did a video on the math that I am using. I have switched back to, well, I'll show you in here. It's in this pile. But I did another video. I'll put that up. I'll attach that at the end so you can see if you want to see like a comparison of Math Mammoth and that other math. Okay, this is the story of Jesus's people. Someone recommended this to me, and it was a definite good recommendation. It is basically, it's the story of the church and the story of God and how the church grew, and just Betty, which I think he was the one. I think he changed the world because he went and translated the Bible. He translated into different languages. So chapters are usually about 3 pages, and then there's a faith lessons, which sums up it. But so it's a combination of real pictures and drawings as well. So how the Vikings, just different people in history and how they came to God. So it's very interesting. So I read it at dinner sometimes if I finish my dinner quick enough, because at night I don't know. I just want to read something faith-based. That's just the mood I'm in. So that is a definite yes. That is Generations. This is a definite yes. This is Jacob's Ladder. It is a reading comprehension program for grades 2 through 3, but it says elementary 1. So I really think they should have thought about that. It's Center for the Gifted recommends this, but I mean, anyone can do it. It's not a thing. So let me give you an example. Let's give you an example. Oh, that's the fishmonger's wife. Remember her? Okay, the dog and his reflection. Remember, he sees a reflection, he's got a bone, and then he sees a reflection, and he sees another dog with another bone, but really it's himself, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to drop that bone and go after that one, and then he ends up with no bone because it ends up in the water, right? So moral, it is foolish to be greedy. Okay, so you read that, so I'll read that during breakfast, and then, so I will read this during breakfast, and then what I'll do is, you start here and you go up the ladder. You start here and you go up the ladder. So these are more complicated. These are easier, like sequencing, right? Make a list of the events in the story. Cause and effect. What caused the dog to lose his bone? What effect did it have on him? See, those are consequences, implications. These are, so the highest one would be theme. What important ideas does this story tell us? Literary elements. What qualities does the dog possess? So positive and negative. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. We just do it discussion-wise. We do everything discussion-wise, and if I feel a need for review, we review it. So that's how we cover a lot, and then I review that. I've done about 3 science curriculums thus far this year, and this is one of them. This is a Becca. This is level 2. It can be done in grade 1, though, because it's very simple. Look at the pictures. There's not a lot of science experiments. They're very simple if there are. I hear a kid crying, but he's been crying a lot, the poor fellow, this morning. I'm debating. Is he going to solve it himself? Okay, so I don't hear any tears, so maybe he did. Okay, this is Enjoying God's World, Science Reader from Abeka. It is a decently thick book. Yeah, so this is a definite yes. I mean, you don't have to have it, but if you want an easy, simple science curriculum that you can sit down and read, why not? Why not do it? I mean, you learn a lot. The picture ratio is very good. So that's a yes. Oh, that's just part of that other thing. This is another science curriculum we did. This I was just curious about. It's generally for like kindergartners, even some preschoolers. It's the Big Book of Science Stories. It comes with a teacher's manual, The Wind and the Waves, which, I mean, a lot of the stuff in that teacher's manual is for really little kids, like finish the pattern. So this was, I mean, you don't have to have it. It's not like it, but it can be all the way up for older children. Some of the stories are really interesting. Every once in a while, a story is very drawn out. So every once in a while, they go into too much information about a story. But anyway, so it does teach wind and waves, a bunch of science stuff in here. And then at the end of each story, you have different facts about whatever so tornadoes and hurricanes, so different facts. So, I mean, I think I would just get this book if you want. And then why not sit down and read some science stories that are on wind and waves? So, yeah. All right, what do we got next? Next, we have 2 reading programs. I showed you inside. Oh, this is the math I am doing. This is primary mathematics. This is what I did today. It was Friday, so instead of doing a full math thing, I said, let me do mental math, and I went through one of these lines with one of them so far, and I'll do it with another one after. This is the Home Instructor's Guide, Primary Mathematics 1A. They are not that expensive to get, and I will show you. So that's just the mental math portion, but when you open it up, you'll see this is Unit 1. All right, and so you're covering numbers 0 to 10, for example. This is the textbook, and these are the answers there, and this is the workbook, and these are the answers there, okay? And then these are some games, some teaching activities and some games. Sometimes we do the games, and then they have more games, and they're super simple. And at the back of the book, they have your, what do you call it? Your manipulatives. So you don't really have to buy any additional manipulatives for this program, and it's, yeah, I mean, it's a definite yes for me, 100%. These are, and I have other books of them, so I'll probably show them in. These are Fun with Pets. This is their reading program. It went through a flood, so it's a little rough, and I wouldn't rebuy it. I was like, no, I'm not rebuying it. This is the second level. These are a definite yes. These are the Craft Right Brain readers. I went into both of these in either yesterday or the day before. I try to do video every day this year. So I went into the different reading programs and how I like them and why I like them. And so they're 2 completely different ones. One child is using this, but I started both off on this, and the others I have switched. And the other one is still on this, but one I have switched to, this is the Abeka one. It goes 1A to F for grade 1. And this is level A, B, C, like 1, A, B, C, D, 2, A, B, C, D. Okay, and so I like this. Today it was, let me show you. Today was interesting just because it's so simple. They're called the boring little books because they are boring. They're not that interesting. But it gets them used to, those are the sight words, and there's always flashcards for those. And then bun, fun, sun, run, right? And these are the pre-reading the words they already know. They start you off so basic that you can read a story within, now not this book, because the first book though, you can read a story within like 2 weeks. Your kids can start reading stories as long as they memorize the sight words that and they give you stuff so that mnemonic devices so they are. So if your child has any type of difficulty of reading at all, autism, ADHD, just is a little slow reading, dyslexia, dysgraphia, you don't even know what's wrong with them, but you're like, why aren't they reading that well? Get the Craft Right Brain readers, get like 1A and the flashcards and try it and see how it goes. See how it goes. That would be my advice. These, again, once they start reading, I switch them over to the Abeka ones because the Abeka ones have great values, great morals, a lot of stuff. The first one, A, B, and C, are not that interesting because you're just learning to read, but it's a yes and a yes, 100%. I could not scream yes more for these. If I could tell any homeschooler whose kid is like, hey, he's not reading yet or whatever, oh my gosh, these for sure. And this after to graduate too, because why not? All right, I got a big stack over here. This is a maybe, Explode the Code. We've never done Explode the Code. I had all this stuff and I just didn't go with it. It just wasn't working for us. But this I think I'm going to do. So if you haven't done Explode the Code and you want to do it, this would be a maybe because this is the fourth one. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna try it and go through with them after we finish that other grammar book. Let's go through and see if we can talk about where we would separate these between. So rule 1, some of the rules I'm not a huge fan of them. They're a little more complicated. Like when two consonants that are the same stand between two vowels, the word is usually divided between the two consonants. Dude, I don't know how old you think my kid is, but I get what they're saying. So sometimes we divide it between the consonants or the double letter, I would say, right? Depending on their age. So it's a little more complicated than I think it should be. But so that is a maybe, but I'm going to try it. All right. Yes, I still have a stack. This is number 1. You can start this in kindergarten. That's the Abeka reader. That's the Abeka science. It's the same. You can jump in. It's not like if you missed one, like if you don't do the 1 to do the 2, now you can skip 1. It's not a big deal because here too, they're taking care of my ears. Like how God, now this is so God filled, which is why I liked it. But if you do not like that, do not get this book. Obviously it's called Discovering God's World, right? So that's a yes. This is Daily Science Grade 2 by Evan Moore. Not really. This would probably be a no. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal, but so it has you do one thing a day, right? So a lot of this stuff is not really made for homeschool kids. It's made for, I guess, I don't know, summer maybe, like getting kids ready. But like, so why do kangaroo have pouches? So this is like week 1. You read all this. Day 1, you read this. Day 2, that's nuts to me. That is a waste of time because every time you start and stop an activity, everyone's got to get on board. So read that and then sit down here and let's answer some questions. And that's what we do. We answer some questions for a day or 2 and then we might go back and then answer some more the next day. We're not going to answer them all at the same time. So that's what we did. So this is probably a no, but you can get it if you want. If you want. I mean, so I guess. I don't know. Okay, here is, over this stack, we got more Math Mammoth. This is a tough one. Okay, first of all, let me show you some of the books of the... So I'm showing you my top reads of the year, just the top reads. The Tale of Three Trees. If you do not have the Tale of Three Trees, I would get the Tale of Three Trees. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, strong word. It's amazing. It's great. Traditional folklore, I would get it. I don't want to spoil it for you, but telling you it's a great book is a great... It just is. It just is. That's one of my big books of the year, I would say. So this is a little more complicated. This is life cycles. This is moving beyond the page. You know I bought every curriculum, right? For the most part. Ages 7 to 9. The ages 5 to 7 is the year before this. 5 to 7 is the year before this. That's a definite yes. 100% a yes. This is a, I don't know. Okay, so it comes, you read with like a couple books. It's okay. It's just... I don't know. We've learned a lot of this stuff now. We haven't learned, I mean, even that herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. I'll be out in a minute. I'm almost done, guys. Food change we learned about, right? So it's just a bunch of worksheets, and it's more stuff than that, but I don't know. I did a whole video on it because it's hard. I just don't want to go into it right now because it's not a complicated system, but it kind of is. It's a little bit of a complicated system. Before last year, the 5 to 7 was not a complicated system. It was like, here's 4 teacher's manuals and 4 student manuals. And there you go, right? Plus the books. But here now it's like, okay, for the science, there's like, this is just talking about life cycles. And then, oh my gosh, there's so many books in the science, so many books in the language arts, so many books and it's like, oh my goodness. See, here they are. Social studies, language arts, science, social studies. There's just so many books now. The life cycles, the water cycles, the economic cycles. I just want to be like, tone it down. And yeah, at age 7, I mean, we just covered a lot of this stuff. Animals design is kind of stupid. I know it sounds mean to say, like the design of a butterfly, I get it, but this animal parts, fur, talons, blubber, wings, claws, I don't know. It's okay, except then it's like, okay, well, draw those things. There's a lot of drawing involved. It's just not a winner to me, but it's not a winner. But I may change my mind when I go through it again. Okay, next up, daily single edition drills. This was just from JD Learning Resources. This is a yes. This is a yes. So sums of 3, you can have them do it orally, have them do it written. Whatever, just getting them to know these basics down. The basics. Yeah, of addition. This is 100% a yes. This is reading pathways. This is 100% a yes. You can buy it used. This is to get their reading fluency. This is have 20 pages in. Puff, puff hops in a, puff hops in a tub, puff hops. So they're repeating it because their fluency is getting better, right? The more they say something, the better their fluency is. Just a yes. Dr. Bonafide, if you want. It's very interesting to talk about different bones and stuff. You have someone really interested in that. So we go through and we talk about different bones. But is it necessary? No, absolutely not. It's not necessary to go that much into bones. This is bones of the hand, arm, and shoulder. I have them for all of them, and they're not cheap. So that's a maybe if you want to. There's 4 books. This is a definite yes. This is reading 2B. Reading 2A, I think, is even better. This is Hearts and Hands. This is BJU Press. Absolutely. I think it's great because look what it does is... Okay, so this is the story, The Firekeeper. This is when did it happen, the setting. So this story, before you read, is talking about the setting. It tells you it's realistic fiction. But every story, where are we? Again, we're talking about the setting. So it just tells you different elements to stories to read. My kids do not read these to me. I read them orally. Like, so for example, this one over here, we're talking, this is a play. Read as a play. So it's introducing you to different elements of stories, of writing stories, telling stories. So I just think yeah. So this is a rhythm. A rhythm is a repeated pattern of beats or sounds, okay? So it's just teaching you different elements of stories. So this is a yes. This is something, again, they don't read to me, I read to them. Reading is a separate subject. Otherwise, we'd be here for the rest of our lives. This is another science curriculum. This is Generations. This is God Made Me. This is level 3. I would say grade 3. Grade 2 or 3, this is good for. 3, 4, and 5, to be honest, because what's in blood? Plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. So this, for example, I took this. What's in blood was one of the questions. Plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, that I put on to a review sheet that we did every Friday. And then eventually I test them on it. And yes, they knew what it was. Just because, I don't know. Something to do. I guess it's not like it's super important you remember what blood's made out of, but yes, this is a definite yes. God Made Me, definite yes. Oh, it's heavy, thick. This is Vocabulary Fundamentals, Evan Moore. Again, I have problems with Evan Moore because a lot of these questions I had to stop this book. I had to stop it because it's like, it has things like at school. Well, we have lunch. Maria's classroom is at the end of the hall. Andy does his homework at the table. When you go out to recess, where do you go? So this is a no. This is Vocabulary Fundamentals from grade 2 from Evan Moore. It's just a no because, again, even though it's compound words, synonym, antonyms, homophone, homographs, I might go through it again just to see what I can pick out to get. But, nope, too much school stuff that kind of draws blank. This is Vocabulary Cartoon of the Day, grades 4 through 6. I don't know. This is a maybe because I haven't utilized it yet. But I love the concept. Vocabulary Cartoon of the Day. Final two things are books of the year. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, illustrated by Christian Birmingham. So Christian Birmingham, you would need this specific one to get because it is a summary of the story, but with lots of pictures. Lots of pictures, a summary of the story, but with lots of pictures. So it was definitely, I mean, I think a book of the year, if you ask me. If you ask me, and the last book of the year is an anthology. I know we're not done our year, but we are just partway through. Where are we? So this covers our interesting planet. And what I love is it has real pictures in here. Real pictures. I love that. These are actual real pictures of our stunning Earth. And then it doesn't have too much information about it there. That's the kelp forest. So just amazing things about all different types. Obviously, I'm in the ocean, the water zone. But outside of that, I mean, there you go. Some sand, cave pearls. Got some caves. Just amazing. Amazing. This is an anthology of our extraordinary Earth, which was surprisingly affordable on Amazon. It was like 14 bucks. I think I bought it for myself for Christmas. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's my yes, no, maybe. Would I use it again? Would I not use it again? I hope you found it interesting. I hope you tune in. I hope only 63, no. I was looking yesterday and 63% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you could subscribe, go ahead so I can try and get up to that 5,000 mark. And I hope you tune in again regardless of whether you are subscribed or not. And if you have any questions or anything you want me to do videos on, just leave it in the comments because I always read them. Okay, bye-bye.